of those must be Latin. They must complete Latin 1 and Latin 2. Now, students who are in the middle school, if you've been in that middle school program and you've been successful in Latin, you'll complete that. You'll finish the Latin 1 there and start in Latin 2 at the high school level. New students coming in, if you haven't had Latin background, you'll start with Latin 1. After you've completed your second year of high school Latin, you do have some options. You can continue on with Latin. We have Latin 3, Latin 4, and Latin 5. Latin 4 and 5 right now are offered as CIS, as Ms. Ball said, college in the schools. We do that through the University of Minnesota. Each of those years are, you sign up for the CIS option, you get 4 college credits for those. We rotate those each year. We do 1 year poetry and then the next year prose. If they take the poetry course, that is the 4th semester of the college sequence. So that would be covering 2 years of college level language, which for most schools is the requirement. So continuing on and on and taking that CIS poetry would give them 2 years of college language. After taking the second year of Latin, if they choose, they can move on to Spanish, or if they have room in their schedule through electives, they can continue taking both Latin and Spanish. We offer Spanish 1, 2, and 3. They would start with 1 and move up. And as we said, next year we are offering Ancient Greek as well. That is a CIS course, and it is very rigorous. It's the entire first year of the college sequence in 1 year in high school. So that would earn kids 10 college credits. To ensure that they're successful in that, it's essentially doing the equivalent of Latin 1, 2, and at least the first half of Latin 3 in 1 year. So we do ask that they have been successful in Latin 3. And again, if they want to take that concurrently with one of the other options, as long as they have room in their electives, they may do so. Some extracurriculars we have with the Latin department. We have the Junior Classical League. A couple of highlights are state, and this year they're going to the national convention. So Minnesota does not have a state JCL convention, so we travel to Dakota, and that happened just like a few weeks ago. And this year, I believe the national convention is in Atlanta. All Latin students regularly take the National Latin exam. That happens in the spring. And through that, they can earn a lot of awards and scholarships. Every other year, we've been leading a trip to Italy and Greece. And I know that Ethan, our student representative, went last time. So if you have questions about that, I'm sure he'd be happy to talk about that. The Ludi Romani is an activity that happens closer to home. It's hosted by Minnehaha Academy, and it's always over Martin Luther King weekend. And basically kids from all over the state get together, and now recently some kids from North Dakota are coming into to have some Latin fun. The Spanish program, for a more detailed level 1, starts with the basics of a language, building vocabulary, and some grammar in terms of verb conjugation, sentence structure. And level 2 will, of course, build on that, emphasizing more tenses, more conversation, and use of Spanish in the community. Level 3 would be full immersion, speaking Spanish throughout the period, and using the language to pursue fluency for work or travel.
Hello, my name is Erica Higgins. I am the band and orchestra director at Eagle Ridge. I will be completing my first full year here at Eagle Ridge. I was hired in February of last year. I'm thrilled to be here. I'm going to be here forever. I love this place, as long as I can stay. The exciting thing that is happening in the music department is we now have a separate band and string orchestra for grades 7 through 12. That hasn't been the case in the past, so we're very excited for that. One thing is for sure, colleges love to see students that are coming in with performance experience, performance in a musical ensemble experience. So it's a fantastic builder for your resume. The let's see, orchestra is just for string instruments, violin, viola, cello, double bass. Everything else is on the band side, so make sure that you're registering for the appropriate ensemble if you are an instrumentalist. I'm also here representing our choir program. That is Mrs. Kelsey Ortiz that teaches that. She is in her second year here at Eagle Ridge. The choir is generally somewhat new. They started, I think, last year, so that is, and anyone can be taught to sing. So if you are interested in singing at all, she is a fantastic teacher. She'll get you started right off the bat. No prerequisites for that. If you are interested in coming into the band or orchestra and have not played an instrument yet, you don't have to be taken out of it. You can still be in band or orchestra. I just require some private lessons over the summer so that you can get caught up to the level of the rest of the ensemble, which is an 8th through 12th grade ensemble for all of you for next year. There are going to be 2 to 3 concerts this year for both choir and band or orchestra. And we do expect students to practice in the band or orchestra about 20 minutes a day. It's not a tremendous burden on a homework load. And you get 1 homework assignment per week for band or orchestra, and there are some in-class quizzes and assignments for both band, orchestra, and choir. We will be adding a little bit of a music history, music theory component for next year, which is very exciting. Bringing in a little bit of the core knowledge sequence that we see in the other grades throughout this school. And we also perform at Veterans Day and graduation, and the choir just got back yesterday. They went to a Twins game and sang the national anthem there, which was a lot of fun too. And I do have one more little shameless plug. Mrs. Nimchuk, who is our lower school music teacher, has been trying to recruit high schoolers for something called the music listening competition. It's a very interesting thing. It's a very unique extracurricular opportunity for students that enjoy listening to classical music. She tells me that there is, it only requires 3 months of listening and studying classical music, and it's mostly done on your own time, so there isn't a set regiment of every Wednesday you have to be here. You would only meet about 5 times for coaching, and from October to January, there's a regional contest, and if you win that, then you can go on to a state contest or a national competition, and it's something we haven't yet implemented here. We only need 3 students to do it, so we really we want to get it started. We want to try it. It sounds really interesting. If you're interested, you can talk to me, talk to Mrs. Nimchuk, or the website is super easy, musiclisteningcontest.com. We make that simple. I think I answered all of Janice's questions, right? Okay, great. It's great to meet all of you. I love seeing all the familiar faces and lots of new ones too. I look forward to being your orchestra or band director next year. Thank you.
Is this working?
Yeah.
I don't hear so well, and I might not be speaking loud enough, so I'll use this since it's here. I'm Lisa Johnson, and I've been here since the very first day of school of Eagle Ridge Academy, along with Aaron Johnson. And when I was asked to present tonight all the classes that we had, I had to go to the website, because in our first year, well, the first 4, I taught everybody everything, so I knew exactly what we had. And when we had just in the high school, just 9th grade, we had 1 9th grade art class, and we did, everybody was reading Greek stuff, so we all studied Greek together. It was pretty awesome, but the school grew and grew and grew, and now look at all these classes that we have. I will not go through and talk about each one of them. You may check the school's website. But what I was, and they're pretty straightforward. We started out with these humanities arts type of programs, like what, if you've been here, was at in the middle school, where you'd learn a little bit of art history, and then you do a cool project. Well, we along with our charter and everything, and of what we do with humanities, art history has always been a part of what we do, but it was hard to get the depth that we wanted in art history, but also teach art skills for our students who really wanted to progress and learn some things. So last year, we had just art history classes, along, and then students could also take just the studio portion. So this is only our second year of having split studio courses and art history courses. And I teach art history courses. Another high school teacher, Erin Munson, teaches some sections of it, and Sarah Tyson also teaches some of these classes along with middle school. Erin Munson also teaches some 8th grade classes, and many of you are already aware of him. One other thing I do want to talk about, well, first I have to talk about why this picture. And you've been sitting for a while, so I want everybody to stand up, get up, shake it a little bit. I'm an art teacher, so I know how it goes, and I have a very short attention span. Okay, now I want you to sit down in your chair and pretend you're Rodin's thinker, and you're going to take your right hand and put it on your left knee and get your arm looking like his, okay? And I should have showed a picture, had a picture that showed his feet, because this sculpture is made, and the guy is thinking with his whole body right down to his toes. And Rodin, in the 19th century, he's kind of sometimes put with the Impressionists, shows the holistic man thinking. And when you're in high school here, you read about Dante's Inferno, and this was really, Dante was in Rodin's back pocket, his Divine Comedy. And this was part of a larger work, and this is now philosophy, he's the thinker, but what's he thinking about? Some deep stuff, because he was at the gates of hell. This is representing Dante. So anyway, a little bit about some art. Now, people want to know, sorry, I'm a little out of breath, I get excited. Why should you take the art history classes that are required? Art History 1, which is a semester, and Art History 2, or why would you take AP Art History? So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Well, this big baby here is the biggest textbook, most expensive book at Eagle Ridge Academy. And if you want bigger biceps, you might want to take this class. But this, as you see, it's twice as big as the other textbook because we cover a lot more. So I don't want to present AP for everybody because it's not really. It's sometimes I get frustrated because we're going so fast now because the test is coming up on May 6th. And it's really a big information dump, but some of you all are sponges and just give it more. They want to learn it. $200 right down there on the floor. I'll put it on the shelf here. What we do, students will get a really good grasp of whichever course they take, you get a much better understanding of history. And I think starting from ancient times, actually in the regular courses we start with prehistoric, so the age before writing. And we go all the way up to modern times. So it really helps make other learning, you can attach it with all the things from history. So back to the AP question. If you're a student who really likes to learn, you're good at reading, and then there's a writing portion of it, this might be a good course for you. After teaching, I think it's best, if you have it like in 11th grade or so. It really doesn't matter when you take it, because I have students 9th through 12th in it now, and my 9th graders are doing great. But like I said, it's not for everybody. It is rigorous, and but it's cool. I wish I'd had this opportunity when I was in high school. I guess that's my monologue here. Thanks for listening. And this is Rodin's, and what's the title, everyone? The Thinker. There you go.